everybody, it's Chris Eads, and online is Wootini, with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I want to start this episode with a review and a complaint lodged inside that review. So I just finished watching, just before Halloween, I finished watching The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. No, not The Haunting of Bly Manor, that's the new one. This is the original one that came out like a year ago, that everyone had already raved about and seen and loved, and I never got to it because there's too much to watch. Like, it was fine when it was television, and there's only a certain number of time slots, and so that limited the number of shows that could be out and produced. Then came cable, which made it worse, but that's still a lot of crap on cable, so who cares? But now with all the streaming channels, it's like you've got your broadcast television, then you've got your cable television, then you've got a bunch of series on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, and now there's HBO Max and Disney Plus, and it's just too much. Too much. So I just never got around to it, because it's 10 episodes. Who has 10 hours? I can't squeeze that into my schedule. But I was able to squeeze it into my schedule in October, and it is actually really, really very good. Everyone is correct. It is an excellent series, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It was perfect for Halloween. But here's my complaint. It took 3 episodes before it got good. After the second episode, I posted on Facebook, and I said, why is everyone raving about this show? The first episode is all set up, so there's nothing there. Plus, they're setting up 2 different timelines, because it's like the past with them in the house as kids, and then it's the present day as adults who are all fucked up because of what happened in the house. And so they're trying to set up 2 timelines, and at the same time, focus on one character. So it's just, there's too much going on in that first episode, and it just didn't engage me at all. And I'm just like, what is happening? This isn't grabbing me. It was just too much going on. And then the second episode focused on another character, except it focuses on Shirley, who I found to be the single most unlikable character in the entire show. She was just completely unsympathetic and annoying and abrasive, and I just did not like her at all. So after the second episode focusing on her, I was just like, why does everybody love this show? It's not scary. The characters are unlikable and abrasive and horrible and jerks. What's the deal? And everyone's like, oh no, it all comes together in the end, and it's really good, and it gets so good at the end. And I'm like, it's 10 episodes. You're telling me I've got to wait until like episode 8 before it gets like good? Unacceptable. So I was just like, no. I will give it one more episode. Thankfully, the third episode focused on a character who's actually likable and isn't a horrible person. She's damaged, obviously, but, you know, a little more sympathetic. And there was actually a little scary moment in it, and I said, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. And from then on, once it got the first 2 episodes out of the way, focusing on the jerk characters, then it gave you the more sympathetic characters, and I was like, okay, now I like them, and we're spending more time in the past with the kids, which is more interesting anyway. And the whole thing does come together really beautifully in the end. And you don't have to wait until the end, because sometimes, like, in an episode, there will be a callback to, like, the previous episode or the one before it, and they'll show you something that happened then that was weird in the previous episode, but now they're like, this is what was really going on, and they'll show it from another angle. And the whole thing is just really well thought out and structured. I just feel like the first couple episodes could have been structured differently. So it's not completely perfect, but it is actually very excellent. And I'm thinking of checking out the sequel at some point. Maybe next Halloween. As for gaming, I still haven't done a whole lot of gaming because, as I mentioned in the previous episodes, I've been watching all the Friday the 13th movies from the new Scream Factory box set, and I finally managed to watch the last one, which was the reboot/remake, and that I watched on Halloween, so I am done now. So I will be able to eventually play some more games now, because I won't be watching a movie every day, which is just too much. I also lost a day because I went to early vote. I thought I'd wait a few days and let everybody get it out of their system, and then the line would go down. The line did not go down. And so I went, and it was like 3 times the size of the line that I saw on Sunday, and I was just like, this is unacceptable. And I just went home. And then the next day, I went to check it out, and it was less, it was like half of what it was the day before. Still longer than Sunday, but it was only about an hour's wait, they said. So I was like, all right, let me see how fast this line actually moves. And it moved pretty good. So in the end, it was like an hour and 15 minutes. I timed it. And it was an hour and 15 minutes from getting into line to from walking out the door. So that was not great, and it shouldn't have to be that way. And of course now I find out that people are saying that there's like literally no line now, and you can just walk in and vote. And I'm just like, oh great. But I thought giving it a few days would help make the line go down, but the line went up. So I was like, next weekend could be just as bad, who knows. At this rate, there's not going to be anybody left to vote on Election Day, because that was my other thought is, well, if everybody early votes, then there won't be any lines on Election Day, so that'll be great. But I just didn't want to risk it, because on Election Day, you can't come back tomorrow. So, but it's done. It's over. Let's not do this again, please. But I was able to play a little bit of Amnesia, just a little bit. Unfortunately, it was like what I'm hoping is the worst part of Amnesia. Not that it was bad, but it like threw me into like a complete and utter panic. Because you go into this like flooded basement area, and there's something in the water. All you see are splashes, but if you don't jump up on a box, you're dead. So I was freaking out and panicking, and I actually screamed at the TV, and I was loud, and my husband came out of the other room and was like, are you okay? What's going on? And I was like, sorry, I'm just in a panic screaming at the television because I'm being killed. Don't worry about me. So I was really glad when that like panic-inducing flooded basement running, scrambling through that water. I was very glad to finally get out of there and walk up some stairs and get out of that. I was like, look, it's just a creepy haunted mansion now. A castle. And it's like, oh, thank God. Now it's just normal monsters. No more water, please. I had a little PTSD when I saw the fountain that was super creepy, and I was like, water, no! But hopefully I'll be able to play some more of that in the next couple weeks before Miles Morales Spider-Man comes out, because once that comes out, I'm not playing anything else. So, obviously still playing Animal Crossing, of course. That's always. And I have to say that I did enjoy Halloween in Animal Crossing. It was super cute. It was much more relaxed than the usual Halloween used to be. Because it used to be everyone dressed up like Jack, and you had to run around and try to find Jack and avoid everyone else who would like chase you, and it was like, no. It was very stressful. So this was much more relaxed. Jack was there, and there were other people, and if someone was in their house, you could go to their house, and then they would say, oh, I like your costume, here's some candy. And it was like trick-or-treating. It was very cute. And then you could take that candy plus the candy that you'd been stockpiling all month at the store, and you would give the candy to Jack or other townsfolk, and they would give you like more spooky furniture or lollipops, which you could trade to Jack for extra furniture and DIY recipes, and it was great. So it was very relaxing, and at the very end I was like, okay, because everyone you talk to, they're like, give me a treat or I'll trick you. And I was like, no, don't mess with anything, because in the old game they would sometimes like transform one of your inventory items, and it's like, hey, don't mess with my stuff. But here they just transformed you, and so at the very end when I was like, okay, I'm done, and Apple came running over and she's like, trick or treat, and I was like, okay, trick. And she was like, what? Oh, okay. And she went wing wham and turned me into a zombie pirate, because I was already a pirate. She turned me into a zombie pirate. So, but it's just temporary, you can wash that off, it's cute. So, thumbs up for New Horizons being more relaxed and laid back than the previous Animal Crossing games. So hopefully Thanksgiving isn't going to be as irritating as it was in New Leaf, where you had to go around and get all the ingredients for all the recipes, because that was a complete pain in the buttocks. So fingers crossed on that one. Come back next episode, and I will have more to talk about. I will have played some Amnesia, and there's something else that I want to discuss about the Switch, but we're going to save that for next episode. So, tease. Cliffhanger. Bye.